Good evening, Ghana. This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy, and I'm happy to come into your homes tonight. Now on Confessions, people get to share stories that they dare not share with any individual. You at home and myself, we take the opportunity to learn from their mistakes so that going forward, we will do better. It's always joyful, it's always exciting, it's always such a learning experience. Tonight is no different. I ask you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. My studio audience are ready, so are my counselors. We're going to have a great time. Don't go away, I'll be right back. This is Confessions on TV3. The gentleman is ready to share his story, his confession with us. And he told me that in summary, he sinned without knowing, and yet he's been haunted on a daily basis. I want to know the details of your sin and share your confessions with us.
All right, thank you, Miss Nancy. So, somewhere on the 3rd of June, 2015, when that rain, the gas explosion at Circle that killed a lot of people.
May the souls we lost rest in perfect peace.
Amen. So I was driving towards Kolegono. I was going to pick my cousin who was also stuck in the rain. He had a smaller car, so he couldn't drive through the rain. I was going to pick him up at Russia in Accra.
Okay.
So when I got to the main post office, the main Accra post office, there was actually traffic because nobody was using the Circle route.
Okay.
Someone knocked on my car window and asked, please, can I get a lift? It was a lady. I rolled down the windows a little to see who it was. And she was completely wet from head to toe from the rain. I was skeptical whether to pick her or not because I was thinking she's coming to wet my seats and everything. But another side of me asked me to offer the help.
That was kind.
I asked her to sit, opened the door for her, she sat down. I asked where she's going, she said she's going to Kolegono.
Okay.
And it was on the same route, so fine, that works, I'll drop her. She saw my work ID hanging in my rearview mirror, and she asked what I do. I told her what I do, and she says she works in a church, so she organizes events and programs for the church, and she may need my service.
Okay.
So to her, it was God that even brought me.
Of course.
I gave her my number after, and also obviously for her to say thank you the next day.
Of course.
We spoke. She called the following day after I dropped her, went to pick my cousin, and told him, oh, okay, I met this lady, I picked her up and everything, because he asked why the seat was wet.
Was wet.
The next day she called, we spoke, she was very grateful. We kept on talking after. And things led to, one thing led to the other. At a point, she would call me during lunchtime. She's on lunch break from work. She'll come and pick me, maybe from my office. We go and eat.
Wow.
Sometimes we even go shopping.
Together?
Yes. And the best part of it was on her pocket.
Oh.
Yes. She said she was trying to say thank you for what I had done for her. So yes, I accepted it. As human as we were, things got even more intimate.
Okay.
And yes, so at a point she will call me during lunchtime, she will come, we'll go and eat together.
Love brewed on the 3rd of June.
We'll go together to maybe my house, because my house was free. She said she lives in the church house, so she won't be able to take anyone there.
The mission house.
We'll go to the house, do whatever it is that we would have to do. It was just one day that I was checking on social media, I was checking on Instagram, then I saw her picture on a friend's page. The friend is a photographer.
Okay.
So when I saw the picture on my friend's page, that was an old schoolmate, I asked him, do you know this lady? And Miss Nancy, he said, oh yes, that's my junior pastor's wife.
Your lover is actually married and to a pastor?
Yes. He said, that's the junior pastor's wife. So I'm like, no, this is the lady I'm talking about. And I mentioned her name. And he said, oh yes, he was a photographer at their wedding. I was silent for a very, very long while. I can't remember, but I just didn't know what to say or what to tell him at the point. And I'm thinking, is it really the lady I'm talking about, or I am wrong somewhere? or she's a ghost. So many questions came up in my mind at the moment. But after like 2 days, I went back to him and asked him, you said this lady is your junior pastor's wife, and you were the photographer. How long have they been married? He said 3 years.
And how long had you known her?
We were doing that for almost 8 months or so.
Wow. But at the point where you found out she was married, you were done with her or you were still with her?
We were still seeing each other.
Wow.
But after I got to know she was married, I didn't know how to handle it because it was a first. I sent her a message and told her I needed to talk to her about something.
Okay.
She couldn't make it because she was busy. I couldn't keep the patience enough to wait for her to make it so I confronted her. Okay. And I remember the first thing I said is, so you know you're married and you're doing this with me. To her, I am trying to blackmail her. To her, I am trying to extort money from her. She got defensive all of a sudden.
Really?
She got very, very defensive. And as impatient as I was at the moment, I also told her my mind. I then, with the anger and everything, told my photographer friend, this is what is happening.
You just needed to get it off your chest.
So I told my friend, and he was like, okay, this is unbelievable. No, he doesn't know this lady to be that type, and she's a pastor's wife, and they are very, very happy.
Oh,
like, they are very happy, and they've been married for the past 3 years, and they are a point of example when they are talking to other younger pastors and everything. But after like 2 or 3 hours, someone called. It was a strange number. The person called and said he's a pastor at the church the church in question.
Which means the photographer told another person. Wow.
Which I didn't expect him to.
Okay.
He said he's a pastor in that church, and my photographer friend told them what the problem is. But they haven't spoken to anybody. What he would say is, with he and a group of pastors, they would like to meet me in person.
Okay.
So we talk about this, we discuss this.
I'm sure you were going to meet the church board or the council of elders or the deacons.
But Miss Nancy, here's the case. I realized what I have done, although I was ignorant about it. And I remember growing up, I lost my dad when I was 12.
Okay.
But what I remember is when we are having our conversations, I'm my father's only son, so I'm actually his wallet. He takes me everywhere.
Yeah.
When we are having our conversations, he tells me, and I've heard him tell other people, Charlie, someone's wife, never go near it. Don't ever try it. So those were the words that were ringing in my mind when
your dad warned you about this, and you unintentionally got yourself into it.
At a point, I was trying to make an excuse, as in, okay, I didn't know. Now that I know, I'm going to stop. But they say ignorance of the law is no excuse. So it's actually a sin. And the lady didn't find a problem with what she did. She felt I was, okay, now that I know, I'm trying to, but I haven't asked her for anything. I'm not, I just want to clear whatever it is. And I realized for some time now, my work hasn't really been as stable as it used to be. The car that I even went to pick her with, I've lost it. Things are not really working as they're supposed to be. And for, I think it's 8 years now, because that was in 2015.
Yeah.
Things are not really working as they're supposed to. And I had a feeling, I have a feeling it could be from I actually didn't go to the church.
Yeah.
Because I was scared. I don't know what
You did not go meet the elders
I didn't go.
Whoever it was that called you.
Because I didn't know what they were going to do to me.
But you have a feeling that things are not going on well because you did what your daddy told you not to do.
Because
you
of
did
that.
what society is against. You did what the Bible speaks clearly against. That do not covet another man's wife. And that is exactly what he did. Even though he did not covet, it was offered to him on a silver platter unknowingly. Thus is his confession. Let us go into the studio. My guests are ready. My counselors are ready. Let's see how we can help this young man. He sinned. It's an abomination. He just didn't know he was. Thank you. We are right here seated in the studio and we commence the conversation. Helena Boabe, great to have you on Confessions tonight.
I'm happy to
be here.
Glad you made it. And of course, you know, our lady pastor Sheila Asari. Show her some love along with. Okay, so this is the gentleman's story. This is his experience on a night when a lot of souls were lost. Some people lost so much properties. Some, their lives just turned around for all the wrong reasons. Somebody found a lover, and he's been making good use of it until he realized that it wasn't a lover after all. His confession, the woman involved. You are a woman.
This is a big one.
It is.
Honestly, what I'm thinking is, what kind of conversations went on before the relationship, even before whatever it is, even started? Because one, you've dated someone for 8 months, and then you never went to visit the person.
Because the person said that she lives in a mission house.
Mission house. She didn't live in a cemetery. She lives in a mission house. This is a place that you can actually easily and comfortably walk to. Asori Fie. Who cannot go to the mission house? Go there one day, visit her. Visit her church. If she lives in the mission house, it means she's a church girl. She should win souls.
For God.
So go to her church one day and visit her. That is not a difficult thing to do.
So the fact that the guy did not.
Due diligence wasn't done in this regard to begin with.
Now, thank you, Ifa. Show her some love. That's a good one. 21st century men. I meet a pretty girl. I'm kind to her. She wants to damasi. Literally damasi. Without expecting anything in return. Should I be bothered because I've been offered such goodness?
I agree with Ifwa. If it was a one-time thing, it was going to be different. Okay, that night, maybe the rains, everything, so one thing led to the other. So maybe that night it happened and that was it. Obviously, that night you won't talk so much. But for 8 months, how? Conversations have gone on. You've been doing each other for 8 months and you didn't even know that she was a married woman. Some married women now don't wear their rings. Sometimes maybe you've added weight, you need to go and get another one. So maybe for a whole year, a married woman will not even have her ring on. So if you don't ask and the woman should decide not to say anything, would you blame her? No, I don't blame the woman. Even though morally it's not very good, I'm not saying that is a very good thing the lady did. But for the man who is feeling guilty, why are you feeling the way you're feeling? When you refused to do the right thing, maybe you kept her on for 8 months because you liked her.
He was enjoying it and it didn't come with any responsibility.
So if you liked it, then you should know more about the person so that you don't get yourself entangled into this. And then secondly, the story, he said he actually confided or spoke to somebody else. This is where I talk about secrecy in these things.
No, he in the first place did not know that the lady was married. Sees the lady's picture on another's platform on social media, he probably felt intimidated.
You ask the person, the person tells you that I know her. You shush. Why do you now talk about what you've done and what you shush?
No,
you just
people, you know how you can get overwhelmed with the situation, Helena, and before you know it, you've spoken beyond what you wanted to say, and spoken even to the wrong person. Haven't you shared an experience with a total stranger, a taxi driver, an Uber driver? These are humane things.
You see, the point here is, where he shared his frustrations is not a total stranger. This person actually tells you, I am the photographer for their wedding. So it means that he has a direct link to the lady and her husband. So you see, traditionally, these things, even if it's not traditionally, these things has an effect. Now the man knows that you have slept with his wife. What if he's gone behind to do something or even said some particular prayers to bring down all your success? you know. And Osofo so it is Onususubi. He too.
We will come to the Osofo. Now, guys, are the men around? Yeah. Okay. Oh, let me feel some energy from the guys. Yeah. Awesome. Typically, when you are very interested in a woman, when you meet her, what are some of the questions you ask her?
Normally, when you meet a lady, you just try to find out about her background and all that.
So give me 5 questions or 3 so that others can answer too. 3 questions. Number 1.
First of all, I'd like to know who she is, the tribe that she comes from.
Okay.
And then if parents are alive,
okay,
I'd like to know them. And then also get to know where she lives. Okay. Normally, especially your siblings too. I'm the type that I always want to have fun with you and your family and the siblings and all.
You use the other people around to woo your way into
because
the heart of the
when
woman.
I'm able to lobby them to parties, programs, fun fairs, and other things, anytime they'll be saying good things about me.
That's a good one, right?
Thank you.
Yes, so you also wanted to add on to?
Yeah, my name is Solomon Tete.
Hi, Solo.
Mont for short.
Oh, yeah, Mont.
Yeah, so usually I like to know maybe where she stays, if she's an introvert or an extrovert, and then if she's a bit religious, whether she goes to church or she's there. I believe in higher power, but I don't go to church. Nowadays, that's what most ladies say. So
they believe in higher powers, but they don't go to church.
Yes.
Is that a new thing in town?
Yes.
I believe in higher powers, but I don't go to church.
Yes.
Thank
some
you.
people do say that. So
okay.
I'm particular. So these are some of the things I ask a woman, a nice woman. Yeah.
All right. Now we know that when you meet a woman, beyond her name, what she does for a living, where she lives, you should endeavor to actually see where she lives, get to see the house she entered, possibly the room she entered, so you would be sure that first she's not a ghost, or she's not scam, nor married. At this point, let me call my counselor in. Counselor Edumata is doing it for us tonight, and you know him coming with all the energy and the excesses. People, Counselor Edumata. Thank you, too.
Right.
It's always great to have you, Counselor Edumata.
It's so great to see you. You're green. It tells me you are fruitful.
Oh, yeah.
It tells me you don't wither.
I don't.
It tells me you don't speak negative. If anybody wears green, you go for good.
Thank you. Green is life. Yes, you are welcome back. And Counselor Edumata is seated. Counselor.
Yes, ma'am.
Tonight is quite a pathetic confession.
It is.
The gentleman in question, he's naive. He was kind to a woman, and then the woman decided, say, Obedanase, literally. And he's been enjoying the nasia for the past 8 months, and then realizes that, no, this is a nasia I shouldn't have taken, but I didn't know. Is he safe?
Well, Ms. Nancy, thank you so much, and my greetings to my beautiful counselors
Helen
here.
and Sheila.
Ms. Nancy, I mean, country. Obiye ni ho ode ne dan safo be ma o keke. Wode ma wa bi binti. So the question is, when you met and you were talking, I heard the 2 ladies counselors were actually talking about, what was the conversation that transpired? What was it that you are trying to know from the woman? All right? Now, she gave you something on the basis that you protected for me. On the basis that I am now rest assured of somebody I can believe in. Remember, obiye free baby neighbor. And people are hiding, holding on things. Until I meet you, until we discuss, you will know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So never take people you meet around for granted.
Yeah.
Bibi ha obano. I don't know, but at the time that she decided to knock your door and says that, give me a lift, I didn't know. So oyere owokunu owompra, I didn't know. Ofri baby neighbor. And because you were willingly open
and you open the door for the person, the woman said, okay, I'll reciprocate. Because, sabi, what shemin munyam? Obi tata me, what jeme? Sabi, me yes, I'm Jimmy. No! It is to attest to the fact that there is something I least expected you to do, and you have indeed given.
Offer. People.
Yeah.
At what point
Yes.
do we say that it was right for a married woman to go beyond her marital bed?
Well, we wouldn't know until we ask the woman. Right now, spectators, we can't draw conclusions. But the woman should be able to tell us. I want to go out with you.
Because he was kind on a very dangerous night where
Fantastic.
people lost their lives.
Fantastic. And this is where what I call the less wisdom from the man came. What were the conversations you were having with? What were the questions you were asking? You were not intriguing enough. Say someone you say before number talk more. What you were just allow. You need to intrigue.
Offer.
You need to ask.
Now. Guys, when you meet the women, the first time you are taking them to bed, whether it was a first time, first sex, no, what do you think? What goes on in the mind of a man that I don't even know her full name? Her name is Nancy. What's her full name? What does she live? Where has she been to? You just, I am not doing it.
Miss Nancy, me that say, ya drink a bibia. A brand new swan won't dream bibia. You want to go for the goal. You want to go and you want to score.
Hit it. Just hit it.
What I say, no man thinks twice when it's time for him to enter. You understand? Because at that point, it is something. Whether the person is your girlfriend, a stranger, that is why we go to parties. We go to weddings, we go to places, we go to nightclubs, and there's a one night stand, like my soft mommy just said. You understand? And so at that point in time, we don't think about anything, and the ladies are always ready to accept it. You understand? They're always ready to accept it, but for us the men, we are also excited to give it out, and together we enjoy.
Should a typical man not be worried? Because men are supposed to be hunters. They are supposed to put in a lot of energy and effort to get the thing. When the thing is being handed to you on a silver platter, shouldn't you be worried?
Don't get this wrong. It's only God who looks inside. It is only God who looks inside. Men, we are human beings. Men look at the outside.
Okay.
So the moment he probably saw her or something, she's a very beautiful woman. And, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So he liked what he saw.
I'm
then
sure with the reins and all the clothing clinging to all the right places.
So it is all, that's what I'm saying. It's only
a wet woman is a sight to behold, right?
Yes.
Exactly. A wet woman is definitely a sight to behold.
Don't forget that she's a pastor's wife. And listen, this thing is going on. I'm a pastor, so this thing is going on. She's a pastor's wife, so sometimes women of God try to protect their marriages. Correctly, as Councillor Mata said, she might be going through something, but because she's a woman of God, so she wouldn't want to, go and badmouth her husband. So then she probably found someone that she could rely on when it comes to, sexual, comfort. Thank you. So women of God are going, a lot of women.
I know a pastor that chooses his waiting period in every February, 1st to the end of February. Like the love month where everybody is lavishing and giving their partners attention, he is before the Lord.
He's praying.
Man is before the Lord.
Miss Nancy,
Imagine a man before the Lord and then somebody sends a bouquet of roses to his lover.
I don't even... This thing that we have shrouded sex in secrecy, especially in the church. The thing is, worry because you don't want to be fornicating. Also, for why won't you do the thing for which reason you went to marry? You are I don't know, you are stifling her if that is the situation. You are because you know that she is a pastor's wife. She can't go and talk about these things. And Miss Nancy, let me tell you this, it's very serious. Some pastors' wives are actually tending to do things with other women in the church. It is breeding lesbianism in the churches. It is. Because he won't come and take a man for you to say that, so for you,
Mame and a male leader.
yes.
Today's salvation has come for them.
Yes, both of them have problems. They are comforting each other. And in that, they are not saying that it's a sin because because the Jamai we think about is when,
Technically,
yes, a
a
man
man
and a woman. We don't talk about sex. What is wrong with talking
Councillor
about sex?
Dumata,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
one is over me.
It will over you. It's happening. It's happening. And again, let me say this. What made the woman to have gone to marry the pastor? Was she pushed or was from her wanting
she
to marry?
in love?
Was she in love? And then she got in there married and she's not feeling the real marriage sort of, schemes. Me so one was a J. Yeah. Boo. Yeah. What is that? You see, and let me tell you, every woman will love to have a feel of my own. So if you say you are my husband, show me, touch me, feel me, and I'm not getting it. Where was this woman at that night?
The man, especially the husband,
Yes.
on such a dangerous night
Did you
that
call-
everybody was out there looking for their
Fantastic.
family and beloved.
Fantastic.
Where was the pastor?
Where was the pastor? And was there any call to check? Why you say he will fear?
Because on the way home, if she found a car
Yes.
and the man was interested in her safety,
Yes.
he would have called and the conversation would have given him an impression that there is a man in her life.
Fantastic. So all these you could see that it was a silent sort of thing. But again, let's come back to the man. But it takes me questioning you for me to know where you are, where you're coming from, where you're going. He didn't do that. He took the excitement. When you put this in your mind, you look like a child. And that trace went down to a point where your friend told you that I know this woman. Look at the reaction. You rather went in to tell your friend details of who you are with the woman. No maturity, no wisdom.
People get overwhelmed. I mean, on that score, I'd want to take a word for him.
Yes.
The gentleman is still out there, and I'd love to ask him, beyond the sexual intimacy you enjoy, first of all, were you using protection?
No, Miss Nancy.
Hey. Number two, what were the conversations you were having? Beyond the sexual intimacy, what other intimacies did you enjoy in those 8 months of knowing a woman?
I mean, listen, we go out for lunch.
Okay.
She comes to pick me from my office. We go out for lunch. And she offers to. I'm the type that normally don't take things from women, but whenever I talk about it, she tells me I saved her life on that night, so I should just allow her.
You saved her life, and so Asida.
Can I ask a question?
Please, you can.
Sir, who first threw in the love proposal? Is it you or the woman?
Good one.
Please, I didn't tell her that I loved her or I wanted her to be my girlfriend.
I mean the sign, the gestures, the language, the
How
closeness.
did you end up in the bedroom?
Yeah.
She came to pick me from my office during the lunchtime, and we went to a place in Accra to eat. From the place, I just had to go home, so she offered to drop me. She actually drives, so she offered to drop me.
Okay.
When we went to the house, she asked if she could come in. She came inside. We
One thing led to
started
the other.
talking.
So in the house, forgive me, in the house, what was the gesture? Was she trying to depict a certain closeness?
Sensuality, hugging,
Yes.
kissing.
And did you respond or you rejected it?
I honestly, everything happened so fast. I don't remember.
Even recall the first experience.
It didn't happen.
And no, now, Mami Becca said,
Yes.
yeah.
That is it.
It didn't happen fast.
No, there's something going on.
Yes.
Listen, even if the woman throws in the towel and you want it, you reciprocate.
Yeah.
You react to it.
I mean, he didn't see any ring on her finger, so if a single woman is giving you an opportunity...
So the mindset was that, so the mindset, just like Alafia said,
Thank you, Ofa. The gentleman at the back. Yes,
Thank you, Ms. Nancy.
You're
I am
welcome.
Setum there, and I'm privileged to be here. I just want to say that I fail to see where the man is supposed to be victimized over here, because from the onset, he had a little, reservation before even going ahead to offer that assistance. Number two, there were series of conversations that led to that. Now, we're failing also to acknowledge the fact that the woman, after seeing his work ID, would have, had some thoughts brewing in her mind. Because she might have seen someone she felt like, okay, this person can complement the comfort I'm getting, or this person could be responsible enough.
Yeah.
Right, so let's not just direct everything to the man and him being, ready to take advantage, because understand that there was a certain level of reservation to that assistance he offered the woman. Right, now that aside, we can't just say that it's a feeling that men are, it's akin to the nature of men. I do not take that. It's neutral. Feelings are feelings, whether a man is feeling it or a woman is feeling it. So if he says that it happened so fast, now I may not take that, submission, but there would definitely be emotional equations that would be intertwined and going on here and there.
Within that period, before they ended up in the
bedroom. Right, so let's look at this and analyze it in the right way. So my dear gentleman, what is yours? Do you want a way out, or you want a way to find a solution to the problem? Now, I heard Counselor say that the man was sort of childish. The man owes the church and his pastors a certain level of loyalty. You cannot blame him.
Yeah.
But then I blame him for being rather childish by failing to recognize that this is something that has been established before the Lord, and that he is now putting asunder by his, by his miscalculation. No, please, Alafia, listen. Yeah. The man acted childish by going to confide in someone whom he may not even know for real.
That's the point.
You understand? Yes. So let's take that to be valid, and search on. Now, since he was childish enough not to even have a little confidentiality in his pocket, he is now putting asunder what the Lord has put together.
So for you, if he had not come out and continued with the relationship,
not to continue though, but he could have found a less harmful way to handle the situation. That, some people, when they are caught in the action, they come to this level of remorse that it causes them to repent. Yeah. Listen, we're all human beings. We make mistakes. And that breaking point or that tipping point will cause us to revisit our, decisions and all that. So I believe that he is putting asunder to what the Lord has put together.
Good ones there. I think that currently, if there is a minister in charge of our happiness, he should have a task force looking out for the gentlemen and the ladies going out for lunch each day, so we will know whether they're actually married, a married woman hanging out with a single guy hanging out with a married woman, and all of that. We need that task force. People, when we come back, we continue the conversation. It is getting more interesting even behind the scenes. And yes, Esther, you said you had a question for the gentleman.
Thank you very much.
Your braids are beautiful.
Thank you.
Right.
So after I live in the mission house saga, so you can't come and visit me. Did he try to, okay, we're together, time is flying, it's been 8 months, can't I even pass by to say hello? What was her reaction? What was her behavior? Because you can't tell me that you've been with someone for 8 months. I mean, it's okay if maybe she lives far away and you're far, so you're like, oh, distant, so I can't go and see her. But like, have you even tried? And she tell you that, oh no, this, that. What was her reaction?
Yes, Mr. Man. Did you ever try to visit her? And how does she react?
Yes, Miss Nancy, there were points that maybe I'm driving around town, I go into her neighborhood, I call and tell her I'm in a neighborhood, I'd want to pass by, and she's not at home.
Okay.
Either she's gone out on errands or out to do something else. And honestly, because she's driving, she has her own car, she comes to pick me during lunchtime, and whenever she's in my neighborhood, she will call and come and see me. I didn't find it really necessary to really dig deeper into it.
So he did try a couple of times and the woman declined. Yes, Lady Pastor?
Are you saying that for 8 months, you didn't have anybody, one person around the lady? For 8 months, it was just strictly between the two of you.
These days, the way the world has become, when you meet
8
a man,
months.
you don't introduce them to anybody.
I understand. But are you saying that probably there's social media, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there are a lot of ways to find out. If he was really serious to know more about this lady, he would have definitely found something.
So he
that
probably
shows that-
hadn't gotten to a place where he wanted to get serious with her or marry her or anything. That's why he was not interested in these things.
Okay, so
When
now
a man
that-
wants to settle with you, then he wants to know more.
Okay, so now you have done the thing. You have done it. It has happened. You've gotten to know that there's a problem. Please, go before your knees, pray to God for forgiveness, and that is it. The only problem here right now is you've caused a problem for the married woman because you have gone to speak to a third party.
The married woman caused the problem for herself.
No, Miss Nancy.
Not he causing
no,
it.
Miss Nancy, no. It was between the two of them.
Are we justifying a
I'm not
woman?
justifying it. Miss Nancy, no, I'm not justifying it. This one,
No, so she was going to eat her cake and have it?
Miss Nancy, I'm not, that's why from the beginning I said it morally it was wrong. But for you saying that you're feeling whatever you're feeling, listen, you have done it. She has also done it. Probably she needed help and you were the culprit. We have used this each other. We have had fun. Master,
can I
matter
ask-
close. Pray to your God.
Thank you. Alafia wanted to say something, but if you're watching our show tonight and you've known a woman for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, we just want to be sure that she's not a ghost. So please go on ahead, ask her more about who she is, where she comes from, and what she does, and endeavor. And Nana Gia Nas watching her baby. Otherwise, you could be dating a ghost. Alafia, I'll come to you, Councillor.
Miss Nancy, there's something that we are not looking at here. Bema ne wa from onim said ye so yanum onye matured enough. Okay? But you the other side of the world in terms of spirituality. Osofona, the pastor whose wife has committed adultery. The pastor is a weak pastor. He's not doing his job well. He doesn't know his wife, or he doesn't know the kind of lady he has gotten married to. If indeed he's a truly, truly good man of God, he would have sent something. And spiritually, God would have spoken to him. Now, let's look at it from the lady's point of view. We hear things from pastors, we hear things from spiritual leaders, we read books, we watch movies, and there are ladies that comes from Mami Wata to come to this earth, to come and spoil people's property, people's future, people's things.
What you mean is that they have some kind of bad luck?
Yes.
That at association with them, you lose a lot of things.
Because our parents will tell us, Sebi oba ne nantabro brofom yanene na Sebio.
At that time,
That's why
they
I
thought
put
it was a
Sebio.
deformity.
Yes. Now, this gentleman said after meeting her, I was having a car. I have lost the car. Most of the businesses I was doing are going down the drain.
He says for 8 years, everything
now-
has been bad for him.
And now, because of the lady's behavior, the pastor is going to have a lot of challenges and problems when he get to know. So could it be that this woman, she has been ordained to come to this world to come and destroy people? Now she's destroying the pastor and destroying the man, and she could destroy other people too as well.
Councillor Dumata.
I call it this way. There's a strategic failure. This guy had been in darkness all these while about the woman. Then a friend somewhere alerted you, I know her, gave you the details. What were you supposed to have done? Draw closer to the woman. Verify.
He invited her over.
Yes.
She gave excuses. So he couldn't wait. He confronted her on phone.
That's what I said, strategic failure.
She started behaving
yes.
that he rather is trying to, you know.
Good. Because the confronting was accusing, was blaming, was instructing me, which is totally wrong. Even if it's not wrong, you look at how I open up to you. You need to now marshal me by giving me that, airs, that you honor me. Okay, you didn't do that. Now you went in, so why? Oh, pastor, it means you are relying on what information you had had. And so now you are accusing the woman. The woman will fight back. Hey, sir, so. Then it means you go. And now you went further to also disclose to someone. And then the thing went viral. Do you know what you've done? Strategic failure.
People, I'll be right back.
First of all, putting myself in the man's shoe, I think the man should go to the mission house because he didn't really know the lady was married. And then he was not married. So it's not, let me say, he didn't cheat, but the lady did.
I really don't know what to say, but taking from the woman's side, as a married woman, you have to know how to comport yourself. I really don't go with her being married and then cheating on the husband. And being married to a pastor too, it's something funny, because pastors are always praying, going to church services and doing a whole lot. So she cheated because the pastor wasn't having time for her.
Well, you heard what the streets had to say. And we're back in the studio. We would want to look at the Osofo in question, the junior pastor. These days, almost every Osofo is a prophet. How do you see into my family, know my family name and the things that my great-great-great-great-grandfathers did, and right under your nose, somebody's doing your wife and you cannot see? What kind of seeing is that?
Miss Nancy, this one there, we have levels of spirituality.
Hey.
You need to get there. But you see, Miss Nancy, I always say that there is this output-input syndrome. Before there is an output, what is the input? If the lady had acted this way, who caused it? Where is she coming from? What has she gone through? So, well, the husband is not here, the Osofo is not here, but we can go back and ask, is this man really the husband the woman was looking for?
Sometimes the bad girls, they decide to go in for the preacher men. Decent guys when they want to get married because they overwhelm them. And the preacher men too, when they see the bad girls and they do things that they never imagined, they fall down flat.
They see it as some kind of credentials. And so when you have this mentality and you go into marriage, you got it all wrong. You will cut short your real feel of a human being.
Yeah.
And this is what people should look at it. You remember, before you became a wife, you were an individual lady, plus minuses of yours. Was it your will to have become Osofo Maame? Drop you.
It's amazing because I thought that you people were going to help me go down to the Osofo Maame Slave Queens in Ghana. Tonight you have been saved on another edition. I'm coming for you.